Good day, each and everyone. I am Shaina Nina Rosalisa, the first reporter for this lesson 8, which is the portfolio assessment. Intended learning outcomes. First, discuss the different features, principles, purposes, stages, and types of portfolio assessment. 2. Construct or create a rubric or rating scale for evaluating students' portfolio. In this lesson, we shall discuss another way of assessing the student's learning through portfolio assessment. Portfolio assessment is an alternative method in assessing the student work and output. So what is portfolio? Unsa man gid ang portfolio? A portfolio refers to the collection of students' projects and works showcasing their skills, attitudes, and interests in a certain period of a time. It also exhibits the best works of the students that are important in assessing their progress and achievement in one or more areas. Portfolio is a formative assessment that measures the progress of a student as well as his strengths and challenges. A good portfolio will be a broad spectrum of a student's work and will serve as not only a place to store complete work, but will also include self-reflections and recommendations for improvement. And according to SWIT, a portfolio is a folder containing a student's best pieces and a student's evaluation of the strengths and the weaknesses of the pieces. It may also contain one or more works in progress that illustrate the creation of a product, such as an essay, evolving through various stages of conception, drafting, and revision. The collection must include students' participation in selecting contents, the criteria for judging, merit, and evidence of student self-reflection. A portfolio can be used for many purposes: communication with parents, developing progress, evaluation, and program assessment. It should represent a collection of students' work or best work of the student or their best efforts. It should and a student selected samples of work experience related to outcomes being assessed, and documents according growth and development toward mastering identified outcomes. Uh, so what is a portfolio assessment? Portfolio assessment becomes useful and widely used in assessing and measuring the progress of the students. It documents the process of learning and the changes that occurred during the process. According to Ferencz, 2001, portfolio assessment is the systematic, longitudinal collection of student work created in response to specific, known instructional objectives and evaluated in relation to the same criteria. Portfolio assessment is one of the several authentic and non-traditional assessment techniques in education. It is also an alternative to pen and paper object test as an approach to assessing students in learning. It is a purposeful, ongoing, dynamic, and collaborative process of gathering multiple indicators and the students' growth and development in a course of or program of the study. Portfolio assessment is also a performance-based approach to assessing learning, but more authentic than one one-time performance tasks as it allows examination of multiple evidence of the process and product of learning develop across the time. In a portfolio assessment, it is an assessment form that children do together with their teachers, and it is an alternative to the classroom test. The portfolio contains samples of the children's or student work and shows growth over time. Portfolio assessment is important because it measures the progress of a student and examines the instructional process, not just the final product, but in other works also. Portfolios assessment can provide multiple levels of learning evidence and demonstrate what a student knows and how he uses this knowledge. The contents of portfolios can include drawings, photos, video, or audio tapes, writing, or other samples, computer tests, and copies of standardized or program-specified tests. Data sources can include parents, staff, and other community members who know the participants or program, as well as their self-reflections of participants themselves. Therefore, a solid portfolio can truly assess a student's development. So, a portfolio assessment can be examination of students' selected samples of work, experience, and documents related to outcomes being assessed. And it can address and support progress toward achieving academic goals, including students' efficacy. Portfolio assessments are a type of assessment item, but rather a compilation of student work or their best works that can be compiled in an envelope or something like scrap in a short bond paper or a short like envelope or plastic envelope or a folder. Portfolio assessment asks students or teachers to collect work products that shows growth over a specific period of a time, as what I said earlier. Uh, as an alternate assessment strategy, the portfolio provides students with the opportunity to select a progression of work to demonstrate knowledge of a topic. For example, in portfolio assessment, in an English course or in an English subject, a student may collect essays over the series of semester to demonstrate increased writing capability and to showcase favored pieces of writing. In a science subject, a student may keep a portfolio for the duration of an experiment, demonstrating results and tracking hypotheses. Features and principles of portfolio. First, a portfolio is a form of assessment that students do together with their teachers. The students guide the students in the planning, execution, and evaluation of contents of the portfolio. Together, they formulate the overall objectives for constructing the portfolio. As such, students and teachers interact in every step of the process in developing a portfolio. And the first features or in the first principle of the portfolio, the teachers and the student are collaborating to make an para mas manindot gyud ang outcome or ang ma-collect tanan nga output nga gikan sa sinugdanan sa kinalasan. Diri sa first principle, ang teachers kay nag-guide gyud sa tanang estudyante para gyud nindot ang outcome or ang resulta sa gi-compile or sa mga portfolio nga gi-arrange or gipondok. And second, the second features or principle, a portfolio represents a selection of what the students believe are best included from among the possible collection of things related to the concept being studied. It is the teacher's responsibility to assess the student. Importantly, actually choosing from among a possible set of choices to be included in the portfolio. However, the final selection should be done by the students themselves, since the portfolio represents what the students believe are important consideration. So in the sa second principle, ang teacher naggihatag nga list gikan sa first hangtod sa kinilasan, while ang student mo nay mag-compile gikan sa katong sinugdanan sa kinilasan. If with gikan sa katong best gyud nila nga mga output or something like nag-siya last na gisunod. Muna siyang nasa second principle sa portfolio. And third, the third principle of portfolio, portfolio provides samples of the students' work which shows growth over time. By reflecting on their own learning or self-assessments, students begin to identify the strengths and weaknesses in their work. These weaknesses then become for improvement goals. There is a third principle, ang mga estudyante or children, makakita na sila sa kaninga topic or sa kaninga work na ko'y gamay nga kuwang sa pag-cursive writing, kuwang ko ani. Dapat sa second nga kuan nga ma-compile or sa sunod nga activity dapat perfect na kung pag-cursive style. So, diri dapat makahibaw na ta if asa tong weakness, asa ta mas taas og ng strength, og dili na ta makakuan nga nanatay time para gid makakuan nga ari sa next activity. I will make sure nga katong strength mas mao niya, katong weakness nako sa first activity ma-overcome to nako. Fourth, the criteria for selecting and assessing the portfolio contents must be clear to the teacher and the students. At the outset of the process, if the criteria are not clear at the beginning, then there is tendency to include among the unessential components the portfolio and to include those which happen to be available at the time. Sa fourth principle, na siya, like what I've said, na siya less. So, diri na siya criteria, like, nga, first, kay, clean nga kanang compilation, kana ang, na siya yung gisunod criteria or rubric nga, nag-represent as guide para gyud perfect ang score sa compilation work gikan sa student. Nya, the portfolio is prepared at each step of the process. The student need to refer. So, as a student or as a children nga mga estudyante, mag-refer na gid siya sa katong criteria or rubric nga giandam sa teacher para gid mahapil o mahanay tanan nga works or compilation or mga activities nga iyahang mga nabuhat. So, diri makuha na gid nga ang katong mga outputs, mga gipantaguan ba, gisi bas mga estudyante or wala. So, dito makita na nato tanang mga compilations kay if ever nga nailaki or kuan sa kung agian sa una, maghimo sila pero 75 na lang ang grade ato or something like minus or basta 75 ako ang nakuha ko sa uban ato kay sa akong classmate naman ko na nangawa ilahang output niya pag compile na sa tanang kuan portfolios mga activities na siya nagalaki ang grade gihatag kay 75 na lang or 76. So that's all the features and principles of the portfolio. So I hope namin nakatanan gamay sa ko ang gidiscuss. And that's all. Thank you.